Welcome to Creature Guide Live Daily News. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ethan. Today we're going over sauropods, footprints, as well as beavers and deer over in Europe and Asia. So we're streaming on both Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. So from Sci News, new species of sauropod dinosaur identified in museum drawer. So this seems to be a very common incursion these days in paleontology. Like a lot of the fossils are not coming from the ground; they're coming in from originally they were coming in from different sediments, but a lot have been stored in drawers, which is exciting too. Of-
Drawers are crates where they're seeing stuff just stick out of them.
Probably. I mean, it probably explains why there are so many rooms in a wide variety of different laboratories, museums throughout the world, institutes. These are simply bones that haven't been or rarely analyzed. A fossil brain case and partial skull roof from Carnegie Museum of Natural History has been reassessed and reclassified, giving rise to a new genus and species of dicryosaurid sauropod dinosaur, Athenar bermani. So, we're talking about a species of animal that's related to the giant Diplodocus from the Jurassic period, but it does belong to a different subfamily, more closely related to animals like Dicryosaurus and Amargasaurus. So these animals, if you're referring to the dicryosaurs in general, are not usually reaching much more than 40 feet in length. They're about 12 meters and maybe weighing somewhere around 8 tons. So Athenar Bermani lived in what is now Utah, the United States, during the late Jurassic, 151 to 150 million years ago. I find this a bit surprising considering when it comes to the Dicryosaur lineage of sauropod dinosaurs, they tend to be mentioned from the early Cretaceous period. They do pop up from the late Jurassic and even to the mid Jurassic, so around 165 to 170 million years ago. But many species, such as the Margosaurus itself, come from Argentina around 115 million years ago. The dinosaurs remained designated as the Carnegie Museum specimen 26552 were originally collected in 1913 in rocks belonging to the Morrison Formation in Carnegie Quarry at Dinosaur National Monument. So this is over in the northwestern edge of, no, not northwestern, north somewhat eastern edge of Utah. I was thinking of Colorado because part of Dinosaur National Monument corresponds part of Colorado, western Colorado, as well as eastern Utah. So until now, the specimen was assigned to a genus of sauropod dinosaurs called Diplodocus. Interesting. That's happened with a wide variety of different species of or specimens of sauropod dinosaurs that haven't had very thorough analysis done to different parts of their anatomy. And they tend to be stuck with like a brachiosaur, some type of basal titanosauromorph,
Oh, I thought you were saying
or
they're all stuck with Diplodocus.
no, there are a number of them that are just seen as diplodocids. And this has also occurred with the prosauropod lineage as well. So maybe just being some basal plateosauromorph. Carnegie Museum of Natural History houses some of the most important specimens for our understanding of diplodocoid sauropod cranial anatomy, said Dr. John Whitlock, a researcher at Mount Aloysius College in Carnegie Museum of Natural History. Our specimen CM26552 is often overlooked in favor of more complete skulls, but bears an outside historical importance as the specimen formed the basis for the modern description of brain case anatomy for Diplodocus as a genus. Okay, so let's pull up a Marcosaurus. So Amargasaurus. So, Amargasaurus was definitely a much later cousin of this specific species that has been finally defined. And Amargasaurus was also one of the largest species of Dicryosaurs to exist. Also, when you look at the overall skull structure, it's quite similar to Diplodocus, despite living nearly 40 million years after Diplodocus went extinct. It likely did coexist with different species of abelisaurs, not carnivores, however, which seems to be the animal in this depiction. Though there were a wide variety of different species of abelisaurs, the carnivorous dinosaurs that would have roamed different parts of South America, Africa, certain areas of Asia, and even Australia.
This looks like a dragon.
Antarctica, possibly. Yeah, it does. Certain depictions of a Margosaurus do look like this. It's interesting. They gave a Margosaurus in this instance quite a elongated sort of, at least when it comes to the leg structure, type of gait, which I don't mind. The problem is I think it's a bit small of a core, but also it could be that the distinct, like what they did with the vertebrae, or the elongated spines, you could say. In this instance, can make it a bit confusing to an extent. I still think it looks good. I like the coloration. Yeah, this is a bit more basal of like an Amargasaur sort of depiction. I don't remember if this was like late early 2000s or early 2010s, but it's a decent Amargasaurus. Though I would probably make the core, or probably the core would be a bit larger, and legs seem, at least the forelegs, maybe a bit thin, but overall, I mean, it's pretty decent. His tail though looks a little stiff. Diplodocids were slightly like less stiff in overall morphology compared to other lineages of sauropods like the brachiosaurs and even certain lineages of titanosaurs. You could say they, in some cases, might be similar to certain members of the, like the Strodiae lineage of the later titanosaurs.
This guy looks like he's gelling his hair.
This guy's very stiff. Yeah. Um, I think Amargasaurus does look like that in many reconstructions. But yeah, he looks somewhat cheerful.
And it
He's on
looks like
his
he
way.
has rainbow candied.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, that's interesting. Now what is interesting is they stop the spines like right at the back of the neck or towards the shoulder blade. So that's different.
Oh, and I found one on Reddit. Hold on.
Quite his own distinct skull structure. Sort of reminded me of the Saltosaurs from Dinosaur Planet. Or yeah. Discovery Show. This is different. So they're kind of just depicting it on the floodplains of early Cretaceous Argentina.
Why
I
does
guess
this look
it's
wavy? The way
it
they would have
does.
grown?
Yeah, Margosaurus's vertebrae tends to, or at least the elongated parts sticking out of the muscle tissue, tends to be not just portrayed in this way, but that is how they are protruding from the skeleton in general. And what is interesting is that they left the vertebrae in this instance completely separated and not having any tissue, at least along the neck or the cervical vertebrae, unlike what you see on the back and the upper part of the tail. I haven't seen that before. Usually it's like it's either just bare without any connective tissue, or it's completely covered with connective tissue, kind of like the very colorful one, which was also covered in osteoderms. Margosaurus is not a member of the Saltosaur lineage of dinosaurs or sauropods, which many species are known for having armor, somewhat like the ankylosaurs, but not closely related. And then you have certain species from the early Jurassic, like Shunosaurus, which have like a club spike like tail. Okay, let's head back to the article. So one specimen, CM26552, is often overlooked in favor of more complete skulls, but bears. Wait, I wonder if I already said that. In light of several decades of new discoveries since the original description in 1978, we reevaluate the anatomy of taxonomic relationships of this specimen. The new analysis shows that the features of CM26552 align better with a different group of sauropods, the Dicryosauridae. CM26552 exhibits a mosaic of traits that enable it to be confidently differentiated from the other known North American dicryosaurid species. Um, I wonder what specifically about that brain case. I mean, the dicryosaurs in general, despite having a somewhat similar um, morphology to the earlier or larger diplodocids in general that aren't a part of the dicryosaurid family, um, yeah, there are certain differences. So, based on this, we assigned CM26552 to the new genus Athenar with the specific epithet Bermani. The study also shows that Athenar bermani is closely related to the Dicryosaur genus Suwacia. Considering CM26552 as a new Dicryosaur species enhances the knowledge of the diversity of this family in the Morrison Formation and in North America more generally, expanding the historical underestimated sauropod diversity of the unit. I think what is quite interesting is that I wonder if I'm also thinking of Dinosaurus, which is another species of diplodocid that roamed Wyoming, Colorado around 150 million years ago, along with predators such as Allosaurus, Torvosaurus. Let's see. Actually, let's bring up Dinosaurus.
I've never even heard of that.
So Dinosaurus.
Okay, it's Dinheros.
Oh, okay. So this is a bit of a
Okay,
larger.
stuff it's bringing up though.
Does it not look like a diplodocid in general?
Hold on. Now it does.
So yeah, this sauropod though we don't really know the
Oh,
size of the species they just discovered, but it's likely not much larger than a Margosaurus if it is a or a large member of the Dicryosaur lineage. Well, this is interesting. This is a very good reconstruction of a Dinosaurus. It's almost that they're giving it that like Diplodocus sort of immense just size appearance to it. It is interesting considering Dinosaurus is more closely related to Diplodocus in general. They are giving it much more gracile sort of physique, which is good to see considering the Diplodocids, like Diplodocus in general, were like that. This animal decided to
canines?
correlate with Gorgonopsians from the Permian period and succeeded. But yeah, this animal would not no, there isn't a single species of dinosaur that really had true canines. They were a bit more common, or you could say present in like certain members of the crocodilomorph lineage of archosauromorphs, but not in dinosaurs. Marine reptiles don't seem to. Well, I'd say a wide variety of marine reptiles do not have canines either.
Are you saying
Certain,
definitely not in sauropods?
yes, sauropods did not have canines, and their teeth were quite similar in their overall stance and just structure. So this is from 2013 Dinosaur Revolution. And even for the time, I mean, the Daenerys was not bad. This animal was probably somewhere around 70 feet in length or pushing maybe 20, 20 to 23 meters and probably reached somewhere around 15 to 20 tons. Possibly a little heavier or around the same weight as Diplodocus, but just roaming different parts of Western North America during the late Jurassic and likely feeding on a wide range of different ferns. And then we have another one. This Diplodocid or Daenerys seems to have a bit of like an older reconstruction to it. I mean, when you look at, there's something about the tail and the core, even the legs, it seems like something from maybe the 1970s or 1980s, despite many sauropods from that time, not all of them, the reconstructions would show them, and it wouldn't matter the lineage either, being extremely stocky and the legs just being immensely thick. But this Diplodocid seems to have something between like a Brachiosaur and, or maybe it'd be a Titanosaur and Diplodocid reconstruction. But it's just that Diplodocids don't, many of them don't have that distinct upper, like, crest region or protrusion on the upper cranial area. This is probably supposed to represent an Allosaurus or a Torvosaurus in the area. The jaw structure seems a bit off for a Torvosaurus. It might be just an extremely robust Allosaurus. Okay, was there anything else? I think that's it. Okay. This is very interesting to see from the Dicryosaur specimen. Let's head forward in time to the Cenozoic era. So, from goodnewsnetwork.org, after 500 years, the beaver is back in Portugal and ready to give a damn. I hope so. Um, oh, that's a very good that's a good picture. So did they reintroduce him here? Oh, it's a young beaver entering Portugal from Spain. Spain has a very small beaver population. There might not be any more than 1,000 beavers in all of Spain. It is rare. Let's see. As GNN has reported in the case of the UK, there is no animal other than humans capable of engineering its natural environment at the same scale as the beaver. And it's clearly this trait which has Portuguese ecologists jumping for joy. Extinct in the small Iberian countries since the 15th century or 1400s. Um, yeah, wow, I didn't realize it's been that long. This large rodent has recently been reintroduced and restored in various parts of Portugal's large neighbor. There seems to be only two or three areas where beavers have established um, families or colonies in different in certain rural areas of Spain. I think it's like Aragon and I can't remember the other. Gradually, signs began to appear that the beaver, Castor fibre, was progressively inching closer to Portugal until recent camera trap footage confirmed the animal's presence in the country. And the Eurasian beaver and North American beaver are two completely distinct species. They're not just different subspecies. We've been on the lookout for this breakthrough for a few years now, and now we're thrilled to confirm its return. The beaver is a natural ally in restoring the health of our rivers and wetlands and has a fundamental role to play in our river ecosystems, says Pedro Prata, team leader at Rewilding Portugal. It is quite um, astounding as to how few beavers there are in Western Europe in general. Greece, for instance, does not have any beavers, or it hasn't had any since, or I'm guessing for a few centuries now.
How many do we have?
North America, or well, the United States, I guess. Probably somewhere around 6 to 8 million.
Okay.
But when it comes to Canada, and then and also I was also just including like the lower 48. I wasn't even including Alaska, nor there are no beavers in Hawaii or Guam or Puerto Rico. Um, or probably increases to about 12 million, maybe more. So, or what was it? Oh, who else? Italy might have like 60 to 100 beavers. And what is it? I think Luxembourg has somewhere around maybe 40 to 80 beavers. There might be, wait, okay, it could be between 80 to maybe 300 beavers. It's very small. Let's keep going.
Compared to us, it doesn't say they have any.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how just certain people and
Well, everyone needs beaver.
yep, very true. Through its constant activity building dams, beavers transform landscapes into watery paradises for small fish, amphibians, invertebrates, insects, and birds. So their damming of rivers diverts water flow in various direction or different directions, cuts channels for floodwater, and creates ponds and wetlands. So we're talking about a species that provides ecological services that no modern equipment can replicate with the same efficiency and scale without costs and bureaucracy that can never be overcome. Beaver improves water quality, creates refuges for other species, and helps us fight phenomena such as droughts and fires. Well, I will say that humans are capable of restoring quite a bit of the ecosystem. You just need the beaver to do a few added touches. Portugal suffers from both drought and wildfires, which the beaver's impact can help prevent through the increased water retention in dryland soil, while the wetter lands beaver dams create act as natural fire breaks. So, it's really good to see. Oh, was there anything else? Nope. I think at the moment over in France, there's somewhere between 18 to 20,000 beavers, so there's slightly more over there. It's still not common. The Netherlands has somewhere around 4 to 5,000 beavers.
So they don't use them for natural flavors. That's why we do that?
Uh, um, yeah, maybe. um, I the natural flavor when it comes to different processed foods tends to come from beaver anal glands. Germany has somewhere around 3,000 beavers, and Austria, I think, also around 4,000. Who am I missing? Is it Switzerland? Did I mention them? About maybe 5 to 800. No, no, no. Sorry, about 2 to 3,000, and Belgium around 3 to 4,000 as well. I don't know about the other countries. Okay, well, let's head back in time. So, from Sci News, UK's youngest dinosaur footprints found. The 110 million-year-old footprints discovered in Kent, southern England, were left by three types of dinosaurs, including theropod, ornithopod, and ankylosaur dinosaurs. Okay, so we're referring to the early Cretaceous, and not necessarily the early Cretaceous, like the Barremian stage, like back 135 to 143 million years ago. We're talking about the last 10 million years of the early Cretaceous, 10 to 15 million years. So these seem to be, by my guess, iguanodontid footprints. So the 110 million-year-old or early Cretaceous epoch dinosaur footprints were discovered in the cliffs and on the foreshore in Folkestone, where stormy conditions affect the cliff and coastal waters and are constantly revealing new fossils. This is the first time dinosaur footprints have been found in strata known as the Folkestone Formation, and it's quite an extraordinary discovery because these dinosaurs would have been the last to roam in this country before becoming extinct, said Professor David Martle, a paleontologist in the School of the Environment, Geography, and Geosciences at the University of Portsmouth. Okay, 110 million years ago, you did have different species of iguanodontids still roaming England. And when it comes to the carnivores, they're a little less um, abundant, or at least at this point in the Cretaceous, at least for what we've discovered. There have also been certain members of the Nodosaur lineage that were from this point, too. So the Folkestone footprints are thought to be from ankylosaurs, rugged-looking armored dinosaurs which were like living tanks. Theropods, three-toed fleshy dinosaurs like the Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurs, there were Tyrannosaurs in England, but they were very small, and it was earlier in their evolution like Proceratosaurus. Also, the Proceratosaur lineage would die off like towards the early Cretaceous. T-Rex never touched Asia, Europe, Africa. Um, it only lived in different parts of Central North America. So let's see. And ornithopods, plant eating bird hip dinosaurs, so called because of their pelvic structure being a little bit similar to birds. However, they are not closely related to birds. The saurischians, um, which would constitute the sauropods and the theropod dinosaurs, are more closely related to birds. It's also where the birds come from. Birds are living saurischians. They are also living theropods, avian theropods. The ornithischians would include the ankylosaurs, ceratopsians, the horned dinosaurs like Triceratops and Styracosaurus, and ornithopods such as Iguanodon and Alturinus.
Wait, you said sauropods are closely related to birds?
Yes, much more closely than the many other lineages of herbivores, though the therizinosaurs from Asia might and North America are more closely related. So, let's see. In fact, let's bring up somebody. Anoplosaurus. So Anoplosaurus.
Okay, I've never heard of this one. No, that's too small.
So there were a wide variety of different species of smaller to medium-sized nodosaurs that roamed different parts of Europe during the Cretaceous period. So actually, it's not necessarily a terrible reconstruction of an Ankylosaurus, but the problem is that the head structure seems a bit too much like an ankylosaur.
Lots
It
of
should be, yeah, almost like a nodosaur. This is definitely like an older reconstruction of an ankylosaurus, possibly even a Tarkia. Who else? Maybe even Anodontosaurus. But when it comes to Ankylosaurus, it should be a much thinner and narrow sort of a snout. And also, when it comes to the horn-like structures towards the sides of their skull, that's more of. I mean, it can occur in the nodosaurs, but when it comes to the larger osteoderms, tends to be more present in the ankylosaurs. This is better. Is this possibly him? Yeah. It's a very distinct species of nodosaur. It only reached somewhere around maybe 8 to 11 feet in length. They're pushing somewhere around 3.2 meters and maybe weighed somewhere around 4 to 500 pounds. Possibly like slightly larger, maybe around 230 kilograms. So, this animal was also likely feeding on some of the earliest species of flowers to exist, as well as different species of ferns, possibly feeding on certain types of aquatic plants. This was not a carnivore. I'm wondering, it could be Alturinus, which is the iguanodontids that you can see in the back of this picture that might be inhabiting this area.
There you go.
It lived much earlier in time, though. This was around 135 million years ago. An Edaphosaurus without a head. It's probably there, but Edaphosaurus was a species of
That's not what it says it is.
yeah, this animal is from the Permian period, around 275 million years ago. It likely did live in different areas of Europe. In fact, I believe we found certain specimens over in Germany, but this was far before, I mean, at least 40 million years before the dinosaurs would evolve. So this animal likely coexisted with other lineages of diapsids and synapsids, different types of reptiles and proto-mammals during the Permian. It also likely inhabited different parts of North America as well, as far south as Texas. And it seems to be an herbivore. The elongated spines on their back were likely just simply used for um, individual communication and as well as attracting mates during the breeding season, which would probably be very similar to the osteoderm seen on Anoplosaurus, as well as many other species of nodosaurs. Though you would also find certain species of ankylosaurs, like from North America over in Canada, like Euoplocephalus, which back in the late Cretaceous period, around 75 million years ago, its own distinct osteoderms along the shoulder blades might have helped attract mates. Oh yeah, when it comes to Anoplosaurus, it's definitely giving it a more like a sort of Edmontonia or a Sauropelta type of a reconstruction. Both nodosaurs, which are from North America, at around the same time, probably around 110 million years ago. Okay, let's head back to the article. So, referring to all of these footprints. Over in England, we have what seems to be iguanodontid, um, Nodosaur, Sauropod, and some mysterious theropod footprints.
Those are some tiny iguanodontids.
There were different species over in England that did not reach the immense size of Alturinus, the Senecasaurus, and as well Iguanodon. Most of the findings are isolated footprints, but one discovery comprises 6 footprints. This trackway was likely left by an ornithopod dinosaur and assigned to the ichnogenus Ornithopodicus. This is a remarkable discovery because the rocks here represented the last time there was land in the British Isle of about 50 million years, during which time the dinosaurs went extinct. We have documented the very last dinosaurs to walk in Britain. So, um, You almost just want to give them a salute. The largest Folkestone footprint measures 80 centimeters, 31.5 inches in width, and 65 centimeters or 25.6 inches in length, and belongs to an iguanodon like dinosaur. Yeah, just it's a mysterious species of iguanodonted. In fact, let's bring them up. Alturinus. So Altrhinus. Um, yeah, I mean it is quite a shock when that occurred. It's like different. There were certain other areas in Europe where the dinosaurs would continue until the end of the Mesozoic era or the Cretaceous period around 66 million years ago. But it is quite unfortunate that they went extinct at this point.
Is that him?
Yes, seems to be an older depiction of the animal. I believe it was found back in 1996 or 1998 and over in England. And this animal, it is interesting. It has almost like a grip or griposaurus sort of a physique to it, which is another lineage of iguanodontid. These are, well, you could also say these animals are referred to as like almost hadrosauriforms and also iguanodontids too. But this animal, I do very much like the yeah, head structure in general. I mean, I think Guandon's looks good too.
Yeah, this guy needs to go on a diet.
That's probably not really, I mean, it could be fat to an extent, but they're just giving him a very distinct sort of neck morphology. And what is interesting, okay, those stocky legs. Now I understand why you said that. That is very chunky in that instance. Very wide toes. It's a very, I mean, the iguanodontids are always viewed as being like the very, because they were robust ornithopods. I mean, not including, well, if you're talking about ornithopods specifically, you're really only referring to like members of the Thessalosauran lineage of dinosaurs, the iguanodontids, the hadrosaurs. So, um, but more like recent reconstructions of iguanodon, Alturinus in this instance, and this goes back quite a while now, have been shown as just simply having a very like a much more leaner, muscular sort of look. That was just I mean, I think it was a good picture. It was just kind of fat.
Oh, you mean him?
Yeah, him. The like I mean, technically you could say same thing as the neck. It almost looks like it's something that you see in certain overfed animals today.
I just thought it
But
looked like Jabba the Hutt.
yeah, I mean, that wasn't occurring to me, but um oh, where was I getting at with that? I mean, it was likely feeding on a wide variety of different plants that also, when the hadrosaurs or the iguanodontids reached adulthood, it looks like with certain species, they were really feeding on a wide variety of different plants that would have just provided them with more fiber than per se the protein, which their hatchlings, it seems, would have been intaking much more of. At least, um, given the certain chemical isotopes that have been or that have occurred on certain species. Also
This
from the late Cretaceous as well.
must be from the same cartoon or the same book. It's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same model. They just put them in a different area, different background. So it still looks good. They definitely gave it much thinner forearms. And I'd say the legs, I'm not sure. There's something there's something off about them. I'm not sure if it's just this particular stance that they're having him take, or it seems a bit thin. Besides that, I don't think it's a bad Alturinus. This animal was pushing somewhere around 30 to 35 feet in length, or between 9 to maybe 10.8 meters,
I
and
didn't
probably
think he was
weighed.
that big.
Yeah, this just seems to be a bit of a smaller individual. Maybe it's referring to another species, but I believe we've only found one species of Alturinus. It's probably weighing a little over 3 tons. Okay, let's head back to the article. So the largest I already said that. To find such an array of species in one place is fascinating. These dinosaurs probably took advantage of the tidal exposures on coastal foreshores, perhaps foraging for food or taking advantage of clear migration routes. So, despite these animals going extinct in England around 110 million years ago, there were still a wide variety of other species of iguanodontids, sauropods, theropods, and nodosaurs or ankylosaurs that inhabited pretty much the rest of the earth. So, the English Empire would still continue. Not to worry. I say that it's like a compliment, and never mind. So, let's look up somebody else, a neovenator. Um, So really, I think it was specifically a member of the Megalosaur lineage. So Neovenator. So this animal, there are also different species that are known from different parts of North America, such as Metracanthosaurus concavinator. It is a member of the Metracanthosaur lineage of theropod dinosaurs. And Neovenator was somewhere around maybe 20 to 25 feet in length, or pushing 7.7 meters, and probably weighed somewhere around a ton. Probably the upper limit of the animal. Did I mention this the other day? Wonder if I did. It is interesting. The Metracanthosaurs in general, they were their own distinct lineage of megalosaurs that would have derived, or it was a completely different branch, which would have contained, or which did not contain animals like Megalosaurus. You also had different branches of the Megalosaur family that would contain animals such as Torvosaurus or the Spinosaurs. Oh, yeah. This was not too far from the time that Baryonyx, a species of Spinosaur that was endemic to England. So, well, that's not necessarily true. Baryonyx was also, seems that it's been found in different parts of Germany, possibly Belgium as well, but more fragmentary remains. Endemic, native are two completely different um, terms. Native can refer to like a large area that the animal evolved in, whereas endemic specifically means that it's only found in that specific area. Even iguanodon, when referring to that iguanodontid, is it's still found in different parts of Western Europe. I think even certain parts of Austria, possibly Italy, but as well as Germany, Belgium, Switzerland. So, when it comes to animals or dinosaurs are specifically endemic to England, it's not hitting me specifically. Neovenator might be one of these animals. But did I mention the size? I think I already did. It also seems to, when you look at many species of megalosaurs, unlike certain members of the Carnosaur lineage, they had skulls that were a bit more robust. So when you're comparing it to an animal like Allosaurus, Concavinator might have a bit more of a robust jaw structure. Same thing would occur when looking at certain species like Torvosaurus. What is this supposed to represent? There's a goat or a deer,
Oh my god, I didn't even realize that when
or
I
it's an
pulled it.
elk. It's an elk calf, possibly.
I always do that for you, so you have the AI ones.
Yeah, I will say it looks like that, when it comes to, I think it's supposed to represent, like, the volcanic, um, little fireballs. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. The little sparks were maybe supposed to be representing, like, the asteroid or the comet and its after effects. Kinda reminds you that, last, or the ending extinction scene of Walking with Dinosaurs, except everything was pretty much bare. Anyway, is there anything else? Nope. Okay. Well, let's head forward to the Cenozoic era. This is really good to see. So, moneycontrol.com, believed to be extinct from 1990s, DENR Mimaropa confirmed sightings of 10 Philippine brown deers in Marinduque.
Wait a minute, that sounded funny. You said moneycontrol.com, believed to be extinct from the 1990s.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Next thing you know, this animal has a stock. Um, Let's see who is. I mean, probably does. Or well, I wouldn't doubt there's certain species. Was there was there a rhino poach today? Stocks going up. Okay, that's a bad joke. Uh, who is this? It might be the Philippine brown deer. Yeah, they're quite small. I mean, they are island animals.
Are they actually deer?
Yes. These are true species of deer. I think many people would assume that there are probably different species of antelope in different parts of Asia, but in reality, South Asia, certain parts of well, actually, you could say East Asia in general, are home to a much wider variety, or they're only home to different species of deer. Antelope over in Asia really don't reach past different parts of Central Asia or South Asia. Once you start hitting Eastern India, so just past certain areas of Myanmar, Bangladesh, Bhutan, the antelope is non-existent. However,
What about Bhutan?
yeah, who there's a specific rare species of antelope that was recently sighted in like 2020 or 2021. It's not hitting me though. It's like one of the only species of antelope I believe in Southeast Asia. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, the Philippine deer Rusa mariana, after going unseen for decades, has been sighted again across several towns in Marinduque. I think that's French. A rare and elusive, or maybe it's Dutch. I don't know. A rare and elusive deer has returned to the Philippine mountains. Scientists thought the Philippine brown deer had been extinct from Marinduque Island for a long period of time. Now, the Department of Environment has confirmed its stunning local rebirth. Yeah, it's been dead for a while. We don't know.
Somebody forgot the A in there.
Yeah, I noticed that. 10 individual deer. That's great to hear. 10 were recently filmed in the dense mountain forests. This discovery marks a historic milestone for global wildlife conservation efforts. The animal was once only a legend told by older residents. Its reappearance proves that nature can heal if given a chance. Um, Yeah, it's just I mean, yeah, it's nice to hear that they saw a handful of individuals, but that's not enough to help restore a population. Experts used hidden camera traps to find the shy brown creatures. Motion sensors captured the deer moving quietly through the dark woods. New footprints were also discovered near several quiet upland village areas. A young deer without antlers suggests a new generation is growing. This means the species is likely breeding in the wild again. The sightings have brought immense joy to the local island community. It is a victory for those who fought to protect forests. I think it's a victory for those who fought to protect the deer. Well, there's a little something. I think it was just like an extra photo. Seems. Local villagers are working with the government to guard the deer, but I guess it's referring to a certain protected area because these guys seem quite elusive and they were only found on the camera trap. They have stopped illegal hunting to help the small population recover. Dangerous wild dogs still pose a threat to young fawns. I think those dogs are committing illegal hunting. Rangers are also patrolling the mountains to keep the deer's herd safe. I think those are the supposed local people. I don't know. Strong partnerships are the key to this animal's long term survival. The Philippine deer is endemic to the Philippines. Let's see. The species has not been officially recorded on the island since the 1990s, making this a rare and noteworthy rediscovery. I think it said that on the title. Okay, so the University of the Philippines will soon begin a major study. Researchers want to count exactly how many deer live in Marinduque. This data will help create a master plan for forest protection. Okay, so I think that's it. I think it's funny as you hear there's universities in these different Asian countries, and next thing you know, all these people that um anybody that goes to a university in the Philippines happens to go overseas and then comes back to protect the deer. Possibly. Um anyway, where was he getting at with this? Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear. Um I think there was something else I wanted to say about the deer. It's an herbivore, so it's like we don't really know. I gotta be honest. We're not really sure what specific species of plants it's feeding on.
It actually focuses on millipedes.
Yeah, well, that would be astonishing. I mean, deer in a wide variety of different ecosystems will feed on different species of birds occasionally. If they're lacking a protein source, they'll gnaw on different bones that they find, specifically like for a lack of or from a lack of calcium. They will scavenge, and they're not the only herbivores to do this. Camels will also be quite omnivorous. Who else? I'm trying to think of outside of like carnivora. I haven't heard elephants do it. Maybe elephants occasionally have munched on certain bones.
Well, don't elephants eat a lot of bugs?
That is true. When it comes to a wide variety of animals, it's sometimes hard to not put them all in carnivora because, well, you're going to have a wide variety of insects that are on different species of clinging on to different species of grasses, leaves, mosses or algae. So that's technically omnivorous, which this deer has likely is likely a part of. Okay. Well, thanks for joining. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy Live Daily News. We're streaming on both Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. And remember that nothing is better than all animals all the time. And happy International Iguanodonta Day.